What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest chapter of Strike It Rich, chapter 63. And in all honesty, this could have been a YouTube short, I'm not going to lie, because I don't really have a whole lot to say about Ri, and after chapter 62, because Ri doesn't pull out anything that isn't already suspected, you know? She's already a tsundere for Hina. We already sort of gathered that. Plus, she doesn't pull out any new moves. In fact, she goes one level down from her ultimate attack and stuff like that because it drains her, you know, we know the deficits of her breaker ability in its ultimate form, quote unquote. So she uses the second one, and it's doing nothing. It's doing absolutely nothing to this other star child, this bulky, wonderful, the 6-star, the demon star of Uta. Now, my thing is, I think if this doesn't confirm Superman syndrome, I don't know what really will, because she seemingly manages to take attacks like nobody's business, and even when Ri uses Army Breaker Dawn, it immediately feels like, wait, when did she get here? It's heavy. Did I misjudge the distance or something like that? So you could argue maybe this isn't Superman syndrome. Maybe this is something like similar to redirection kata, where, you know, she moved forward and immediately like dispersed the damage, similar to something like redirection or wada kata sort of implementation. I'm still going off because of her bulk, because of her size, because of her female BROLY level ideas, is that she is 100% got some Superman syndrome going on. That might not be her gimmick, but I believe she's got something similar to it. Now, Natsumi shows up to save Ri's life, quote unquote, no questions there, and says, well, what do we have here? You're a pretty thing. Room for one more. Let's go. So she wants to enter the fight. Now, once again, at first I thought this was, of course, one of the Sena sisters, obviously the big one, but it was Natsumi instead, who looks quite similar. I am curious to see what's going to happen here, because she strikes her with a kick, and seemingly, once again, no damage taken by the Demon Star. So this chapter, in all honesty, went about as well as expected. It was Ri's time to shine, and she did not shine. She did her tsundere shit, where she was just like, well, Hina wants me to do this, she'll praise me, I love it, I'm a puppy, you know, whatever. And then shows up well above her pay grade. And it's really unfortunate, like I talked about it in the last chapter, and actually, I got dislikes for that, except no comments, because people are cowards, it is what it is. But people dislike that video, probably due to that opinion that Ri is now going to be the standard, hey, I'm a star child, I'm going to show up, and you even beat a star child? It's going to be the next level of, here's the level, here's how we hype them up, and Ri has to take a loss to hype up the new villain, antagonist, etc., right? She's sort of starting to fit that bracket. That's my only understanding as to anything negative I might have said about the last chapter that would have garnered multiple dislikes on the last chapter review. But I'm going to double down on it, because I don't think I'm wrong here. Given the fact that I wasn't wrong. She got bodied. She got destroyed. Like, the Demon Star, Uta over here, did just like talk trash, talked like, hey, how you doing? By the way, get the hell out of my way. And Ri was like, you're after Hina? I'll kill you. So full on murderous intent, no holding back, no nothing. And she's like, oh, you want to fight? Finally, this will be fun. And immediately takes an army breaker. It's like, oh, wow, damn, my ribs, they felt that. And she's like, wait, that should have, like, ruptured organs, and it did nothing. Okay. Once again, Superman syndrome. It's even brought up in midway through the chapter. The panel saying her muscles are like tightly wound steel wires covering every inch of her body. Can Army Breaker get even through that? And we see the shot of just all the different lines across the different muscles in the human body. And I'm just like, yeah, Superman syndrome. She probably doesn't have it to Wakazuki's level. But Yan and G, maybe? You know, like times 2, times 3. Like Wakatsuki is like 53 times. Let's go with times 3. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So, as I said, she brings out Dawn. And it still does nothing anyways because she gets interrupted in her, to be fair, interrupted in her attack. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, that still showcases that Uta is once again the 6-star, stronger. And we can argue the point that those levels have changed, you know, in the series. But within series, every time you establish things like that, every time you establish the student council in an anime, which has more power than the U.S. government, anytime you establish power levels or something like that, you always have the characters that say that title is nothing but a title, or that number is nothing but a number, and I'll prove to you that's all it is, you know? And then they get washed. So right here, 9th versus 6th, what did we expect? We already saw Hina, who is our main character, or main star child character, got absolutely trashed in one hit by the first star. So, my understanding is the star levels, for all intents and purposes, are pretty accurate in terms of who wins in a 1v1. So, Reed getting trashed, not unexpected. Exactly what I thought at the end of chapter 62. But here, I'm kind of excited to see Natsumi, who was like, hey, I ain't fucking with this shit, is gonna right away go up against a 6-star. Because she was immediately like, yeah, I ain't playing this game. I'm out. My life has value. And I was like, I hate you, but I also respect you. Now she's showing up. Alright. Let's see what she got. I'm here for it. Granted, I think the fight's going to be immediately interrupted by a third-party character. But before they actually throw down, we'll have to wait and see what Chapter 64 has in store. So, anyways, that's from me, guys. What did you think of the chapter? Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the chapter. I thought the chapter was good. It was just incredibly predictable on what was going to go down. So, but that doesn't mean it's a bad chapter. It was just a very on-the-nose chapter, shall we say. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you back here next time. Sayonara.